started with our next presenter. I hope you guys can hear me back there. We're good to go over here, right? Yes, you got everything covered all the time. I describe Hatch as a startup about starting startups. And it's in Granby Street, Norfolk. I've been around for 4 years, like 3-4 years now, helping out a lot of entrepreneurs like me and others with programs like 1004. So to tell you all about that, please welcome Zach Miller from Hatch. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. Hopefully be hard on my 6 minutes because I really want to try and hit it. So Hatch is 3 years, I guess, officially, and then 4 years unofficially. So Hatch gives entrepreneurs, their staffs, and those that want to be more entrepreneurial the tools to start and grow their business. Our core is napkins, so if I'm at the coffee shop or bar and I have an idea to about 3 years old of a company, that's our core. We're really focused also on younger companies, so younger people starting companies. We're in downtown Norfolk. So basically Hatch gives companies platforms to thrive. We have several platforms such as Start Norfolk, which is start your business in a weekend competition. Hatch is the overall umbrella, which is to grow your idea or to take it to reality. Startup Night, which is our longest running program. It's about 4.5 years old. It's the night version of this, but only monthly. So we take 3 companies a month and showcase them. They get 15 minutes to pitch their idea. And then the State of the Startup Community Address is our version of the State of the Region, State of the Union, where we can showcase all that's going on that's great in our community, in the startup community, once a year. And then one other thing that's not mentioned here is this new conference that we started called Execute, which is a way for us to additionally showcase local businesses through how they have executed and been resilient through the goods and the bads of life. Our newest platform is called 1004, where we're trying to start and grow 1,004 employee companies by the end of next year. To date, we're at 57 companies in as many different industries as possible. The overwhelming majority, that's probably not the right way to say it, if there's a trend of anything, it's fitness, logistics, and things based around water. So that could be alcohol, that could be port things. So those are the kind of the main industries that we've seen there. This is an industry expert-based workshop where once a week we get together for 1 hour at Hatch, and we have an expert talk about a specific topic. Anything from the topics up here, Google Analytics, maybe some legal stuff, how to market, and we also stream and record that. It's membership based, so if you guys were here a few weeks ago, 757 Makerspace is how you build it, and we're the business side, the sales and marketing side of business, and so we're kind of like a gym membership for that. We're changing the region's energy, not just talking about it, we're solving real problems, so people come to us, we give them the platforms to do it. And then a couple of pictures throughout our events. This is Glenn Moriarty. He pitched his idea first in a car on the way to DC. I know Kristen's here, she was in the car. But he had this idea that he's a clinical psychologist and I can go talk to my mom if I have a problem, or I can go talk to the doctor, but I can't talk to them for 4 weeks because I have to make I have to set up that appointment. What if there was a place where you could do that online? And so he created that. It's basically AOL Instant Messenger for people that need to be heard. I think Marty actually took that picture. Do you remember that, maybe? He's gone on. He actually didn't win. He got second place there. Went on to Y Combinator, which is one of the 1 or 2 best accelerators in the country. Then raised $1.5 million at a pretty good valuation. And 2 of the backers were the guy who created Gmail and the guy who created Tumblr. And he lives in Sandbridge. So, great story, about 6 or 7 employees now. This is at Start Norfolk 4. So it's people that have ideas, and we help them, give them the platform so they can figure out if that's something that they want to do very quickly. We find that people either love what they're doing, the weekend was too hard, so they decided they don't want to be this, and that's fine. But we give them that platform so they can find out if they really do want to get into the entrepreneurial space. There's Glenn again coming back at Start Norfolk 4, telling his story about what he did. Our last one, see Nisha's here. She won ESOP Technologies, and then several other people that have presented here or will present over the next few weeks. We try to make it a really fun and engaging environment, and we do it about once a year. And we also do 150 different gigs a year at our office. This is one of the meetups that we host, and so we get anywhere from 10 to 50 people in our office several times a week to put on different events. This is one of our industry expert workshops, so this is probably on how to use WordPress. So a lot of people think that they need super custom stuff to get started. We say you can do it really, really simple by using kind of hosting companies like InMotion Hosting to get their products off the ground. And this is a picture of Chris Hill, who was one of our speakers at Execute, which is a quarterly conference on execution and resilience, all with local speakers that we hope to turn into a larger scaled quarterly concept. I think that's it. Nope. This is Taylor. He created Beer Bug with a couple other people. This is him pitching at Startup Night. This is our longest running event. Like I said, about 52 weeks that we've done it. Similar concept to this. And there's Nisha pitching as well at Startup Night. We get a good crowd for that. And the idea is that people have ideas. So 4.5 years ago, we saw a lot of people were leaving the area. How could we, or people didn't know that this company was in the area. What can we do? What platform that we can give to them so that the result that we want, which is people to see these things, that they can now do this. And so you've also probably seen my dog Ashbrook in there a couple of times. And we'll stop with that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, well, you guys know what to do. What do you guys want to know from Zach about Hatch? How it works?
So how does it work? What's your revenue stream?
So program pricing and events is pretty much in partners. This part of the pyramid.
Yes, ma'am.
You said there was a membership fee. Is that for Hatch or is that for some of the programs?
$1,000 for the program.
Okay.
Yeah, this is about $30 a month to be a part of that. Marty?
Have you thought about doing a TV show?
So that's a plug for Hampton Roads Business Weekly, which Zach hosts Sundays on WBEC Channel 13 at 9 a.m. And the premiere was last Sunday. If you didn't see it, it's going to be every Sunday at 9 a.m.
And following this, I got to go shoot a shoot as well. So the idea of the TV show, it's really cool. It's to educate and showcase businesses in the area. It's about 4 to 6 companies a week, so let's just say it's 5 times 52 weeks a year. It's over 250 different things in the entrepreneurial space, whether it's programs, companies, events, etc. We get to now feature that once a week. There's also, unlike a lot of normal news-like things, we have a dedicated YouTube page for this, so all of that stuff will continue to flow throughout time, and it's really cool. If you're interested in getting on that, there's links on the site that you can submit an idea to do that. It's hrbusinessweekly.com for that.
Format is features, Entrepreneur of the Week, and social media tips.
Those are the 3 that have come out. There's also kind of like local change makers. And it's a startup itself, so we're trying to figure out what really it is. Each month is supposed to have a specific topic. So we're hopeful that we can do stuff on like women in entrepreneurship, veterans in entrepreneurship, minorities in entrepreneurship. This month is innovation, and just a bunch of different topics that we can really showcase things and not stick to one different thing, but really showcase people and companies as a whole in the region.
So what's next? You wowed us with all this stuff. What do you got coming down the pike here?
So 1004 is a huge focus for us. We really want to get 1,000 companies. It's growing pretty quick. About 3 companies a week is where it's growing. The TV show is a lot of fun. It gives a lot of exposure to things. We're starting to get into the online programming game because we think that.
What does that mean?
So we do a lot for the region, but how can we do things at a national or global level? And by building programs that people can learn about us, so that when people are potentially thinking about recruiting to an area or maybe moving, or that they see that these things are based here and we can and hopefully keep them here. So more programming is a big piece of that, and we have 2 kind of online courses right now, and we're working on a 3rd one right now, and just trying to expand that so that people can see the tools that we've used here as a kind of indirect marketing ploy to get them to move here. Because ultimately we want to retain and attract talent. So,
Can you explain the logic behind no whale hunting and 1,000 for?
So I guess the premise or the main topic at the State of the Start community address this past year was around no whale hunting. And the concept of that is a lot of traditional economic development is based on going out and recruiting a large company to move to your area. And about 2 or 3 years ago, I was in an event and someone said, you know, all we have to do is recruit 4 1,000 employee companies to our area and we'll be fine. And it was at a job summit put on by TCC. And I just sat there and I said, that just seems ridiculous to me. What if we took the flip side of that and tried starting and growing 1,004 employee companies? Because you can't get to 1,000 companies before you have 1 employee and then get to, or get to 4. And so the logic is we just flipped it for that. And we think that this area can be a prime candidate to whale hunt, but not now. So let's create a really nice fertile environment so that when those companies do want to move here that are bigger, we're not spending as much money trying to recruit them. Instead, they see that this area is a hotbed of talent by having a lot of talent. So you look at Austin, huge university there, but a lot of bigger companies there that have grown up, a lot of talent pool there. So people want to move to an area like that because they have all these things. So it's trying to create that environment so that people have.
It's not a zero-sum game either, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason you can't have 1,000 4-person companies in one whale.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any data on how many successful startups have come through your program?
So I'll speak to this off the top of my head. I think there's a couple ways that you can look at something like that. So I think a lot of our programs weed out people intentionally, right? So a lot of entrepreneurship and startups, it's a really sexy name right now. And so people think that they want to do these things. And we build them a platform to say, this is what hustle really looks like. This is what Hustle City really looks like, right? So if you look at someone that's really serious, has really started their business, has a little bit of money in the bank saved, I think that number's a lot higher. So you hear people say like 5% is the failure rate. I think it's actually higher when someone's actually serious, but most people aren't that serious about it. They think they want to be an entrepreneur, or they want to put entrepreneur on their LinkedIn profile because they think it's cool. But when we see people that are more serious than not, the success rate is 20 or 30% higher, is what I would say. That being said, we don't have $1 million company in our portfolio yet. We will probably have at least one this year. We have several companies that are at least 6 figures, in the double digits. And so we look at things saying, you know, in this area it can be difficult to do a lot of different things. But if you make money, you have a data point to then make more money. And so we really focus our companies on sales and revenues because we think that as they grow their bank accounts, it's a better way for them to really understand kind of the business climate.
So you have an evaluation process, like somebody comes to you and you know that really they're not going to be successful, and you say, this program's not for you, or how do you approach that?
So it's not my job to tell someone if their company's going to work or not. I might not be their customer, so I don't want to look at it like that. I want to look at it as, I have no idea. Yes, there's some people that come in that I really like, or their concepts I really like, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to go down that route and actually be successful. Right? There's a plethora of things that have to happen for them to make what they want. And so we try and give them the tools to make it easier for those successful things to happen. Because someone asked me recently, well, if you want to start another company, what would it be? The answer is simple. I have 2, a dog walking service or a lawn maintenance company. You would think I would pick something else, but those are the 2 things that I think I can execute on right now and really make a big bang for my buck off of it. But they're not sexy at all. So it's up to the person to want to go through. When you become an entrepreneur, it's not a 9-to-5 job, right? It's a 24/7. It's a lifestyle change, and we really try and share that kind of vision with people so they understand what it's like and what you're getting into. And here are the tools that you have today to hopefully make a stronger case to grow your business.
So what are the 2 classes that you're offering online?
So there's a how to create an email list course. So a lot of people talk about emails and how to generate business off of that. That's it's actually an email-based course too, so you get it via email. And then also a how to start a business in 7 days, modular-based concept. It's 10 videos. Currently it's free, but that's changing to $200 over the next few days. And then the one that we're working on right now is a sales and marketing course for early stage companies. And so we think a lot of people talk about the product and how it needs to be great, but if no one wants to buy it, or how can you sell it, that's really important. So those are the 2, and the third one's in the wheelhouse.
And are these available for people who are in your program or for people outside of the program?
Both. Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit about the role that the members of your program play in supporting one another?
So we believe that if you put 4 walls around people and kind of curate the people that you want in there, they will organically help each other grow. And so we've seen, of the companies that are in our portfolio, and maybe just the 1,004, is that instead of just coming and listening to the speaker, they start sharing ideas with each other, they start working with each other, they start giving each other business to each other, they start referring business to each other. So that kind of exchange has been really good.
And like online, Facebook?
Yeah, so we also created, people are busy. And so if people can't physically come, there's still an online forum that they can go and communicate with. We record and stream all of our videos, and so all the members get the access to that. And it's a way for them to be able to communicate on a non-kind of traditional, or what our standard 1 hour a week is. And we wanted to, the reason we came up with 1,004 from a conceptual thing is, when we first started, we invested in about 13 companies, and a bunch of other companies throughout the years came to us and said, well, how can you help me? And we didn't have a business model around there, so the answer was, we can't. So then we basically created a business model. I did a TED Talk last year and decided that instead of just saying, let's start and grow 1,004 employee companies, let's create a model around it, conceptualize an idea in July or August of last year, kind of did some pre-membership thoughts to it, and then really hit the ground running January 1 of this year when we figured out what the business model was. Mr.
So you
LaFont.
invested in companies and say they're in your portfolio, are you holding ownership in all these that come in, or is that,
So those 13 that we physically invested cash in, yes.
Okay.
No one else.
So it's not like you don't have to give up part of your company
No.
to be a part of that.
Yeah, so if you join 1,004, you pay the monthly fee, and that's it. It hasn't happened, but if someone came to us and said, hey, we think that this might be a good fit, we want you to have a piece of the company, we would address that at that point, but it hasn't happened, and we're not actively looking towards that.
Who are your sponsors?
So we have a couple of partners, the Strom Center at ODU, Dominion Enterprises, City of Norfolk, and that's it. So we run a program for the Chamber of Commerce, the SBDC, in partnership with Entrepreneurs Organization, Retail Alliance, and SunTrust Bank as well. But that's a similar, different program, but it's called Propel. You've seen that. But those are the 3 main partners. We're actively looking at some other key partners in specific spaces that we think would be good for us. There's a fee attached to that. And then also the TV show, I guess WBC is also a partner as well as we continue to grow the Hampton Roads Business Weekly TV show.
More questions from you
One
guys?
quick question.
Yep.
City of Norfolk, how are they helping you out?
So they give us space. Yep.
I know we have one final question for you, which is how can the community of 1 million Coastal Virginia Beach help Hatch?
Yep. So If you are thinking about starting a company, or maybe you're looking to grow your company, membership into 1004 is important. And then if you know someone that might want to take some of our online courses, check that out as well. You can find everything at hatchnorfolk.com. In the bar at the top, there's some different categories as well.
Great. All right. Thanks very much, guys.